My name is Greg Raymer, and I am the president of Community Waste Disposal. On behalf of CWD's 250 employees, who are as excited as I am about today, I would like to welcome you to the launch of our new compressed natural gas vehicles. These trucks mark a new beginning for the quality of air in the DFW Metroplex. You saw 4 of the 5 new trucks parked out front as you entered today. Before you leave, please take a moment and look inside. Look under the hood, hop in the cab, kick the tires, but not too hard. These are my new babies. And I'm so proud of them, and I am so happy to show them off here today. A few words about how this morning will go. You have programs at your seats, and we're pretty much going to follow that program. The ribbon cutting outdoors will conclude the official part of the event, but we invite you back inside for more refreshments and a chance to explore this magnificent asset, the Trinity River Autobahn Center. It was constructed on the site of a landfill, and as a trash company, we couldn't think of a better place to host today's event. Let me introduce you to the distinguished guests that have joined us today. Seated up here with me are representatives from several environmentally sensitive North Texas communities. Their support and their citizen support for cleaner air cannot be overvalued. As I call your name, please stand or wave, and if you would, please hold your applause to the very end. Representing CWD partner cities, with the City of Allen, I have Councilmember Ross Obermeyer. With the City of Euless, Councilmember Linda Martin. With the City of Forney, Mayor Darren Rozelle. With the City of Keller, Assistant City Manager Jonathan Phillips. With the Town of Little Elm, Assistant City Manager Doug Peach. With the City of Wiley, Councilmember Bernie Jones. I don't see Bernie Jones, okay? And also with us is Mr. T. Boone Pickens, our guest speaker, who you will hear from in a few minutes. Thank you all for being here. We are also honored to have several guests seated in the audience. With Earth Day Dallas, we have Mr. Lonnie Shivers. With the Environmental Protection Agency, Region 6, Janie Frank. And with Keep America Beautiful, Cecile Carson. And with Keep Texas Beautiful, Christine Shute-Canuel. Thank you very much for being here. I would like to give special recognition to 4 special companies. Companies that have been instrumental in building the trucks that you saw out front and who will work with CWD on a daily basis to keep them on the road. Would you please wave when I call your company name? And again, let's hold our applause to the very end. Our partners are Clean Energy, Mr. Reagan, Bruckner Mac, the McNeilius Corporation, Peterbilt, and Rush Truck Center. Let's give them a round of applause. You'll find more about these companies in your program. Last, but definitely not least, I would like to introduce my very first partner. She was here on day 1 and has been here every day since. My wife of over 26 years, Vicki Raymer. Vicki, please take a bow. Today is a milestone for community waste disposal. I founded the company with 2 used garbage trucks and a handful of dumpsters almost 30 years ago. Today, we are the largest privately held waste management company in North Texas. Over 500,000 people count on us to pick up their trash and recyclables on a daily basis from their office buildings, apartment complexes, stores, plants, and their homes. We partner with 13 municipalities. From our earliest days, being stewards of the environment has been important. We recognize that our efforts and have received numerous awards from Keep America Beautiful, Keep Texas Beautiful, the Recycling Alliance of America, and other organizations. You may have noticed that today's event is a zero waste event. This means that 90% of the trash generated today, CWD will see to it gets recycled. I'm proud to tell you we are the first privately held waste management company in North Texas to introduce CNG trucks to the regular routes. We are fully committed to being an environmentally friendly business, and the trucks demonstrate we walk the talk. I have always believed that we have a responsibility to our communities. Yes, dealing with trash is my business, but we live in the Metroplex also. We want clean air, good water, a healthy environment for our families, just as you do. That's why today is important. The bright green trucks out front will help us conduct our business in an even more environmentally friendly way. Compressed natural gas, or CNG for short, run much cleaner than standard diesel engines. These 5 CNG trucks alone will eliminate 225 metric tons of greenhouse emissions annually. That's the equivalent of taking off of the Metroplex roads 370 vehicles each and every day. They'll cut greenhouse gases like methane by up to 25%. They'll reduce nitrous oxides that cause smog by 50%. They will almost completely eliminate particulate matter emissions. Overall, the trucks will contribute to a smaller carbon footprint for community waste disposal. The CNG trucks are also quieter, which means our customers will hear a lot less from us. They lead to far less noise pollution as we run up and down the neighborhoods and on the city streets. Within 10 years, I expect to convert our entire fleet to CNG trucks. We currently have 125, and we operate the largest privately owned Class A fleet in the North Texas area. Imagine the positive impact we can have in just a few short years. But the CNG trucks aren't just good for the environment. They make good business sense also. And that's important to companies like Community Waste Disposal. Consider, for example, CNG costs 40% less than diesel. If you factor in the 3.3 million miles CWD trucks travel annually across the Metroplex roads, burning 1 million gallons of diesel, you can see the savings really adds up. Simply put, CNG trucks are less expensive to operate. As I see it, adding CNG trucks to the fleet is a win-win situation. It's good for the environment, and it makes good business sense also. Mr. Pickens will expand on this idea in just a moment. The trucks outside, they're ready to roll. You might see these bright green trucks on one of 5 of the 100 routes CWD runs every day. We are excited about what they mean for community waste disposal and the environment. Thank you all for being here to share this occasion with us. Now I would like to reintroduce Cecile Carson, with Keep America Beautiful, who has a proclamation. Cecile?
It's my pleasure to be here today on behalf of the Keep America Beautiful organization and our state affiliate, Keep Texas Beautiful, and to present CWD with this proclamation from our president and CEO, Matt McKenna. Whereas Community Waste Disposal is the largest privately held waste management company in North Texas, and whereas CWD is committed to being an environmentally friendly company, and whereas to reach that goal, CWD has purchased 5 compressed natural gas CNG waste trucks, and the North Texas area will reap the benefits of these trucks by operating in 13 cities, as well as hundreds of CWD corporate accounts throughout the Metroplex. And whereas Bruckner Mac, Clean Energy Fuels, McNeilus Trucks and Manufacturing, Peterbilt have all partnered together to make this important step for getting these trucks on the road. And whereas this is a special day for the local students from Allen who are honored to see the trucks debut and designed a replica that you may have seen in the back, not in the proclamation, but the plug, in appreciation for CWD's role for bettering air quality and thus helping ensure their future health. And whereas these CNG trucks will run quieter and cut emissions and eliminate greenhouse gases each year, now therefore I do proclaim Community Waste Disposal and its president, Greg Romer, as valued partners of Keep America Beautiful. Signed this the 15th day of August 2012, Matthew McKenna, CEO and President. I would like to express on our behalf from Keep America Beautiful the leadership that Community Waste Disposal has shown. The many accolades they give to each of you who are seated here as representative cities too, that it is truly a collaborative partnership, and we appreciate all of the efforts that you do for keeping America beautiful.
Thank you so much, Cecile. Mr. T. Boone Pickens is a legendary oil and gas entrepreneur. Truly an American success story. From humble beginnings in Depression-era Holdenville, Oklahoma, he grew up to be one of the nation's most successful businessmen. Gracing the cover of Time magazine, Fortune, and virtually every other major business publication in America. Boone built one of the largest independent oil companies, Mesa Petroleum, and later reinvented himself in the 70s as one of the most successful investment fund operators with BP Capital. Among many other business interests, Boone is the co-founder and member of the board of directors of Clean Energy Fuels. Fuels which operate natural gas stations where CWD will be refueling its trucks on a daily basis. In July 2008, Boone launched a grassroots campaign aimed at reducing America's dependence on imported oil. In television ads, on his website, and in his book, he has spelled out how our dependence on OPEC oil is an addiction that threatens our economy, our environment, and our national security. He has proposed one simple solution: switching the nation's 18-wheeler truck segment to natural gas fuels, fuels of which the United States has an abundant supply of. His professional honors include membership in the Horatio Alger Association of Distinguished Americans, the Texas Business Hall of Fame, and the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. In 2011, the American Football Coaches Foundation selected Boone as its CEO Coach of the Year. There are many, many other awards. Boone is a noted philanthropist, having given away over $1 billion in his lifetime. Cowboy Stadium at Oklahoma State University is named for him, so is the downtown YMCA. In his own words, Thomas Boone Pickens is a surprising environmentalist, someone who loves both the land and individual rights. But he's also a savvy businessman. In his world, what's good for the environment can also be good for business. He is here today to tell us what to expect and why. Please welcome Mr. T. Boone Pickens.
Greg, thank you. Greg and I have a lot in common. You started, you said, with 2 trucks and 10 dumpsters. I started with $2,500. I left a major oil company. I think you were with Waste Management. Is that BFI? Yeah. And so we had a parallel at that point, and and now you identify me as a legendary businessman. The other day somebody said, Boone, you know what a legendary businessman is? And I said, I think I do. He said, well, let me tell you what it is. It's a guy 75 years old and still has a job. I'm 84, so I've been a legend now for 9 years by that definition. Who was it? I can't think of it. You'll remember as I tell the story. But some guy the other day said, you and I didn't do this on our own. You remember that? That's baloney. I can tell you, there are people out there that did this for you. Somebody built a highway and a bridge. I paid taxes for highways and bridges. I was paying for all that stuff as I went along. You did too. But I can tell you, an entrepreneur is a lonely life at certain times when you get out there. And I know you experienced some of that. Unless you started with 2 trucks and got 20 2 weeks later. I bet it was 2 and then 3 and then 4. Well, I moved along that way on an oil company way back in 1956 when I started Mesa. And I never had anybody ever step up when I got a dry hole and said, I want to help you pay for this dry hole. Have you had that? I haven't either. But what you see here today is leadership, true leadership, because we are, there are many parts to this. When my first shot at it was 1988. And I believed that I was a good enough salesman. I believed I understood the product well enough that I could penetrate the market within 3 or 4 years, getting into natural gas as a transportation fuel. Here I am, 25 years later, and we're about to make it. So I didn't penetrate nearly as quickly as I thought I would. But I thought with a cleaner fuel, a cheaper fuel, a domestic fuel, that I could do it. And it's happening now, and it is going to happen, but this country, will get our trash trucks, heavy-duty trucks, will go to natural gas. The primary reason for that is we're all patriotic, but the primary reason is the fuel is so much cheaper. I mean, that has brought it across the finish line for all of us, but it is, and we are operating here in Dallas in a non-attainment city. So leadership of Greg and CWD is part of what's going to help change non-attainment. But we're going to have to do something about non-attainment in this city at some point in the future. I know Houston has a little bit worse problem we do, but not much. But we are moving, I think we're 50, I know it's 50% of the trash trucks purchased in America this year will be on natural gas. That started in Southern California 7 years ago when they had a leader out there that was named Barry Wallerstein. And Barry was head of South Coast Air Quality Management District, AQMD. And Barry had an air quality issue, so if he could remove a diesel trash truck off the highway, and that he could do that, it would be 325 automobiles equivalent. So he said, okay, what's it cost me? They said, it'll cost you $50,000 more to go to natural gas away from diesel. His issue was huge, and he had the money, which if you have the money, it solves a lot of problems. But AQMD had plenty of money and taxing authority, so he said, give them a grant of $50,000 per truck, but they can't buy another diesel. They have to buy natural gas. So $50,000 grant, I mean, that's like real money. You don't have to pay it back and you get it and all. Well, Greg's doing this with a $30,000 differential, I believe is what you're working with. And he will take care of that on the cost of the fuel. And also because he's a patriotic person and he is very sensitive to the environment. So he has payoffs, but when he gets around to payoff that pays the $30,000 will be the fact that he'll do it on the cost of fuel. But the United States today has more natural gas than any other country in the world. We're number one. We're ahead of Russia. Iran is a big natural gas producer. But we are the biggest here in the United States. And that's been accomplished by, once again, entrepreneurs. The major oil companies didn't come up with this natural gas. These were producers, oil and gas producers in the United States that developed horizontal drilling and multiple fracking in the horizontal hole. We frack as many as 20 times in a horizontal hole, which you can say this, but isn't quite accurate. It's like getting 20 wells out of one wellbore, is what it's not that good, but you're getting like 10 out of one vertical hole that you might drill and then frack one zone. Here you're fracking the same zone 20 times. So there's a lot that happens in this country as far as entrepreneurship, leadership, but we have both in this country. Greg, again, I'm one of them. You are sitting out there. But together, I can tell you, we can have an economy in America that is the best economy we've ever had if we get on our own resources. And we have plenty of gas and we have plenty of oil. And a lot of it has been developed, as you know, in the Barnett Shale. We're sitting here right on top of it. But the Barnett Shale, and we've got the Marcellus, which is the biggest gas reservoir in the United States, maybe in the world when it's fully developed, is from western New York State across Pennsylvania and down West Virginia. When all of this is developed in this country, and it'll be years doing just that, that we will have a great economy before too many years if we just get leadership. The missing link today is leadership in Washington, and it just, I'm running out of time, and I believed when I started the Pickens plan 4 years ago that I could accomplish that in 2 years. I haven't. Maybe I've made a dent, but I do have 1,700,000 people signed up with me. And the 1,700,000 people with me, we're going to have a vote in this upcoming election. So all of that's in front of us, but and the economy in America is no good right now. No good. It's okay. But it can be better. We've got way too many people unemployed, and we've got to have more jobs in this country. But anyway, I've taken a lot of your time. This is a big day for CWD, for Greg, for Vicki, and the rest of us, that it's a big day for clean energy fuels. And thank you very much.
Thank you. As Mr. Pickens saying, really today is for the future. Can we have all the students who participated in the recycling sculpture contest come on down? Well, they're coming down, Mr. Pickens. You know, you and I are a little more alike than you think. You went to school at a school called Oklahoma A&M in Stillwater. I went to school at Texas Tech in Lubbock. And once a year, everybody from Lubbock would go up to Stillwater for this thing. Come on down, children. Just talk Eskimo Joe's Weekend. Has anyone ever been to Eskimo Joe's Weekend? I don't think there's a living soul in Oklahoma who's not in the Stillwater area during, you're laughing, you know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, we would play rugby up there, and I look up at the field someplace called Pickens Field. I'm going, man, if I ever get to meet this guy, it'd be pretty neat. Well, today, we get to be on the same team. Even though I'm a Raider and you're a Cowboy, we're on the same team for a better environment for the children of tomorrow. I'd like to thank you for that, sir. Thank you. Sure. And as a Raider, you know, we don't get Cowboys often very much. I have a pin for you. All right. Now, Cecile, we had these children come up, work with Amber Baker from Allen ISD a couple weeks ago. We had 25 children make sculptures from recyclables back there. And we had a winner. And the winner is, Cecile?
The winner is the team of Mason and Jason. Now, I could have said Mason, your last name, but I just like that Mason and Jason together. So I want to present to you this first place award and to congratulate all of you because it was a very hard decision. Every one of these trucks was really magnificent, and I do encourage you to look at them before you leave today.
Thank you again for Amber and Keep Allen Beautiful helping us with this.
Okay. And the winner is.
I knew I was going to ask.